appeal in front of these fans who were rooting on, many of them rooting on Valdez. He did indeed silence them.
What does this victory mean to you?
Hey, this victory means everything. I told y'all what I was gonna do. I said I'm gonna beat Valdez, Canelo, and Eddie Reynoso. That was my game plan. Beat the whole team, and I feel good about it. Much respect to them, no disrespect to them, but that was my game plan.
Did Oscar Valdez bring out the best in you, and how did he bring out the best?
Oh, most definitely. Oscar Valdez is a tough champion. I don't take none away from him. He got good power. He's rough, rugged, and he'll be a champion after this.
I'm in great shape. I'm in great shape right now.
Make sure you're not cheating. Make sure there's no cheating going on.
What Shakur Stevenson said to Canelo Alvarez and Canelo team. Hey, payday, you want payday? I know that just made him public enemy #1. Find out why in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You guys heard the clip, Shakur Stevenson after defeating Oscar Valdez. That's what he said. He said that in beating Oscar Valdez, he basically beat the whole trio. He beat the whole squad. He beat Canelo Alvarez. He ended up beating Canelo team, aka Eddie Reynoso. And in defeating Valdez, he of course beat Valdez. So he said he beat the lot of them. Canelo, Eddie, and Oscar Valdez in one fell swoop. In my opinion, this made Shakur Stevenson public enemy #1. As we know, Canelo Alvarez is a media darling, and old media and fans like Canelo Alvarez, and the brashness of a black fighter to not only dog walk Oscar Valdez, but then add insult to injury to a revered person like Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, who they gave Trainer of the Year for frequent years and keep giving them awards and stuff. I think this put Shakur Stevenson, on the hit list with some fans, at least the Canelo man fans. They're not going to like what he said. They're not going to like the confidence, and they're not going to like what was done to Oscar Valdez. I think Shakur Stevenson looked great. He did what he wanted when he wanted. I made a video about it. You guys got to check that channel, or on the channel, you got to check the video. Oscar De La Hoya, another Oscar, who's an Olympic gold medalist, Olympian, just like Shakur Stevenson, basically compared this fight to Canelo Alvarez and Floyd Mayweather. And the funny thing is, Oscar De La Hoya has experience with both. One, he fought Floyd Mayweather, for those who don't know, and he lost to Floyd Mayweather. And then Floyd Mayweather later on beat his fighter that he was at the time promoting in Canelo Alvarez. So it all kind of connects. So Oscar De La Hoya, who's worked with Canelo on a personal note for many years with Golden Boy Promotions, and then fought Floyd and worked with Floyd on some of his fights when Floyd and Golden Boy and Richard Schaefer and Al Heyman were all a unit, and that's what he said. He compared Shakur Stevenson. So you had a dominant, skilled fighter against a guy who was trying, a guy from Mexico, just like Canelo, Oscar Valdez, who was trying. He was game. He had some skill. He had good wins previously, but he was no match for Shakur Stevenson. So all in all, it was an amazing performance. Now, fighters like Luis Arias, he noted this, and I was going to make a separate video, but it's a lot of content, so I'll reveal it here. But Luis Arias, who worked with the Mayweather team and recently beat Jarrett Hurd, he posted on his Twitter that Shakur Stevenson had the MGM silent. So Shakur just did that in front of a pro Valdez crowd. Like, anytime Valdez was trying to rally and throw flurries, even though much of it was blocked, and that's a testament to Shakur Stevenson's ring IQ and overall defense, the crowd was like coming alive. But then Shakur was bombing on Valdez with 1 and 2s and all types of punches, really. His punch selection, his punch placement, accuracy, defense, footwork, controlling the real estate, defense, measuring the distance, measuring up Oscar Valdez. Like, he kept his hand out there, but the referee warned him, Kenny Bayless. It didn't really affect the fight. There were no point deductions. There was a knockdown, things like that. So it's just overall ring IQ and ring generalship was on point. And all in all, Shakur just kind of did what he wanted with Valdez. But for him, before a pro Valdez crowd, to be talking that ism and say, hey, I beat all of them. Canelo Alvarez, Reynoso, and Valdez, I've already seen it. It's already started. You have Canelo man fans and Oscar Valdez man fans and Reynoso man fans, and they're angry with this statement. If you listen again to the clip that I played at the beginning of this video, don't take my word for it. You can rewind it. As he's saying it on the national TV in the interview with ESPN, the crowd almost is like gasping or booing in the background because he just said he beat all of them. And again, Valdez, they pointed out on the ESPN telecast that Valdez had such a presence or had the crowd. I think Andre Ward or somebody, one of the ESPN commentators, had noted how Valdez, the crowd was there for Valdez. I think even at the weigh-in, Shakur Stevenson got booed. So it just goes to show you, in America, that's how American fighters can be treated. I know Valdez is Mexican-American, but he always reps the Mexico flag, like when he's in the ring and stuff, because that's where he was born. He grew up in America, in Arizona, but he's also represented Mexico in the Olympics. So it is what it is. But Shakur Stevenson, the crowd is gasping, the crowd is booing anytime he says these things, or he was silenced in the crowd, as Cuba Arias pointed out, when he was landing his shots. So it's just something to note. And this also added to the fact that Shakur Stevenson, he previously made other comments, which I've talked about on the channel, where Shakur Stevenson said some pretty boastful things. For one, Shakur Stevenson said he believes in his ability. He said Bud is that dude, Canelo's a great fighter, but I rank myself #1 pound for pound. He said I'm the dude. You know, Errol Spence, and there's a lot of great fighters, but I feel I'm #1 in the sport. I'm #1 pound for pound. And I made a video about it. People were mad because they were like, how do you put yourself in front of Canelo? But they're different careers, and Canelo is a great fighter as well, and he's obviously further along in his career at age 31 than whatever age Shakur is at. And we're talking about pound for pound. See, this is why I don't even get into the pound for pound conversations like that, because pound for pound means different things for different people. What are we basing off? Canelo, first of all, he's 31. So, of course, he's had more opportunity and chances, and he had the red carpet rolled out based on the way he looked, and he had good promotion behind him. He also came up on Floyd Mayweather's undercards, and that was a big push. So, Shakur, we have to see what's next. This is steps in the right direction. How he's looked with Jamel Herring, and also how he looked against Canelo team fighter Oscar Valdez. He beat the brakes off of both guys, and they're totally different styles. So Shakur, when it comes to pure skill, I don't see how you could have many guys ahead of him. We'll just say that. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the other comment Shakur Stevenson made was that he would beat, if he was the same size as Canelo naturally, he would beat Canelo. And that's what Shakur Stevenson previously said, that ruffled some feathers. So I already know how the game goes. I've been in boxing for years, and the Canelo man fans aren't going to like that. Canelo, I mean, he can't really worry about it because they're not in the same division, and he has his own fight coming up in a week with Dmitry Bivol. So we'll have to see how that fight plays out. But Shakur Stevenson, it's very interesting. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. Shakur Stevenson making these type of comments, and just to see how people, he could almost unintentionally develop the Floyd Mayweather type of effect, where you have people who are paying to see if he loses, even though they know he's good and they're going to be fueled with emotion. He could have almost villainized himself with these comments, because you win at somebody who's popular like Canelo Alvarez, who represents Mexico, and you know how the game goes in boxing. A lot of the same people who want to see Floyd lose, and they openly told you. They say, hey, I just want to see Floyd lose. I don't care if it's Maidana, Ricky Hatton, you know, De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, Canelo. I'm just paying to see him lose. And they didn't want to miss that moment. So with Shakur talking spicy, I can imagine it'll be the same kind of energy. He's saying, I beat all of them. I beat Canelo, I beat Reynoso and Valdez. And then the guy he actually fought, he really beat the brakes off of him and had his face all tattered, had him running out of answers, things like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Shakur Stevenson commented on Oscar De La Hoya's comments about Canelo Mayweather, and he put an exclamation mark, and he's talking his talk on the internet. So I could tell by the crowd reaction how people were gasping and booing when he started mentioning Canelo. But what he's saying is true. He's a star. A star is born. Great performance against a guy that a lot of people and Canelo fans, since he's in the same gym, thought Oscar Valdez had a shot, and Shakur made it look pretty effortless. And you look at the fight, Canelo was in the crowd, and he looked like he wanted to cry. He was trying to give advice to Oscar Valdez from, you know, ringside and yell directions to him, but none of it was good enough to overcome the Shakur Stevenson effect. Shout out to the kid from Newark. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel. Future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.